Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to the program Blessings of Islam. Today we'll discuss the spirit of Hajj, rituals and their significance. Now, if we have a closer look at the rites and rituals of Hajj, we find that all the rituals and rites of Hajj are meaningful. They symbolize different qualities of a believer. All the different elements and rites and rituals are related to the practice of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family. So, when you practice and when you perform Hajj, and you also perform all the rites and rituals of Hajj, so all these activities and all these acts, they are having an effect on your personality. If we talk about ihram, for example, so what does this specific dress represent? This represents humility, that you are ready to do whatever your Lord is commanding you. Even if you are having nice dress at home, you are having clothes at home, and you can afford to wear different dresses, but at that time you are just following the commandments of Allah Almighty, and that is why you are wearing that ihram, and you are avoiding all those acts that are forbidden in the state of ihram, because there are acts that you can do in your normal life, but once you have entered into the state of ihram, those specific acts, now those acts are forbidden. So why have you done all this? Because of the pleasure of Allah Almighty. So this is a sign of humility and the sign of surrender, as we know that the word Islam refers to peace, and it also refers to surrender to the will of Allah Almighty. So that is the message of Islam. So this dress is also having an impact on your mentality and your mindset, that you are ready to do whatever your Lord commands you. And if we move on further, if we have a look at Tawaf, you are walking in circles around the Holy Kaaba, you are circumambulating. Why? Because that was a commandment of Allah Almighty, and that was the way the Prophet ﷺ was performing this ibadah, and that was the way Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was performing this ibadah. So while you are walking in circle, you are being reminded of the blessings of Allah Almighty. You are remembering Allah Almighty. You are calling His name, and you are saying labbaik, that you are there. Oh my Lord, I am there. So this, the selection of words is also very important, because you are representing the essence of Islam at that time. And when you move on further, if you have a look at Sa'i, what you are doing there, that you are running and you are walking back and forth between the hills of Safa and Marwa. So this is also an action and a rite and ritual of Hajj that is very symbolic. Why? Because you are running and you are walking at that place, that was also a sign of remembrance of the earlier prophet Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam's family. So at that time you are being reminded of what happened in the past. And this is also a message for you, that you are connected to the actions of people who were pious, who followed the commandments of Allah Almighty. So you are on the path of those pious people. Then if you move on further and have a look at the act of worship, that is the rite of Hajj, that is one of the most important ritual of Hajj, and that is called standing in the plain of Arafat. So at that time you are below the sunshine at that time, and you are passing the entire day there. Why? Because of the pleasure of Allah Almighty. So this is a sort of training for you, that if any trouble comes into your life, so you'll be saying, okay, I'm fine with this trouble, I believe in Allah Almighty, and I'm ready to face the challenges of life with the help of Allah Almighty. And with that feeling, with that love that you develop in your heart, that become your power, that become your strength. And similarly, if you move on further, you have a look at the ritual of Hajj, that is called throwing pebbles at the stones, and that symbolizes that ritual symbolizes that you are against the devil, the Satan, and you are against all the actions and activities This also, symbolizes, this also gives you an impression that you are against all those actions and all those activities that are, against the pleasure of Allah Almighty, that displease Allah Almighty. The actions that are a sign of evil, the actions that are showing the pleasure of devil or the pleasure of Satan, so you are avoiding all those actions. So at that time, when you throw pebbles at those specific three pillars that represent Saturn at that time, so you are giving message to the world that I won't go against the pleasure of Allah Almighty, the will of Allah Almighty. And this will also train you for all the negativities that exist in the society. For example, if there is injustice in the society, there are the things that are not good in the society, so you are against the bad actions, and you are a sign of hope for the society. You are a sign of positive element in the society. So your approach towards life will change, your vision will change, and you will become an optimistic element in the society as a result of the impression and the outcomes of the different rituals and rites of Hajj. And finally, when you complete all the rites and rituals of Hajj, including offering sacrifice and sacrificing an animal, so all these different rites and rituals leave an impact on your mind, on your personality. And these different acts of worship, these different rites and rituals become a part of your personality, in the sense of having an effect on your personality. It means that this huge something that is huge and something that is apparently difficult, might be difficult for people, but that is one of the most important pillars of Islam. So this prepares you to face the different problems of human life, to come back to the normal routine of human life with a different vision, with a vision of pleasing Allah Almighty, with the vision of becoming a sign of hope for the people, becoming someone who is good, who is effective, and who is caring for others. And ultimately you will witness the blessings of Islam as a result of this act of worship, that is Hajj.